Hello once again, Tennessee. This is Aaron Duquette, State Director with U.S. Term Limits once again in our series of videos in which we are having short interviews with people who have signed the U.S. Term Limits State Legislator Pledge to support the resolution pursuant to Article 5 that would allow the states to come together to term limit Congress. And I want to welcome Delynn McCash, who is one of our pledge signers in Tennessee. Very much an eager supporter. So Delynn, you want to introduce yourself a little bit, talk about yourself?
Hi, I'm Delynn McCash. I'm running for state representative in District 17. My day job is a teacher, and I've decided to run because there are so many educational initiatives that are so important right now. But there's many other initiatives I support, such as infrastructure and healthcare as well. So,
great. Yeah, I'm a former teacher myself, actually.
Oh, okay. So there is life after teaching. I didn't know that. I thought we had to do it till we died.
Yeah. Well, now I got to figure out if there's life after politics. I don't know. So.
Oh gosh.
Very good. And so, not long ago, we over the summer here, in the midst of all the COVID-19 going on, and a lot of people being home, the team here at U.S. Term Limits was on the phones quite a bit and calling in a number of different states, including Tennessee, to ask if candidates would sign our pledge of support for our congressional term limits resolution. And of course, Delynn did sign that pledge, and you can actually check that out on our website. We've got a press release about that. But could you speak a little bit to why you support term limits on Congress and why you decided to sign our pledge?
Well, I'm a big supporter of the Constitution. I'm an Air Force girl. I was a sergeant in the Air Force for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Well, I was in the Air Force. I became a sergeant. But it's always been that oath that I took way back when I was 17 years old has always meant the world to me. And I do believe that becoming a lifetime politician is not what our founding fathers had in mind for us. They wanted citizen public servants to come and legislate for us. They didn't want professional politicians. And I think without term limits, we get the professional politician, which does not do us a good service.
Yeah, no doubt. Thomas Jefferson, when he, of course, he was not present at the Philadelphia Convention that gave us our Constitution. And when he read it, his first complaint was, where's the rotation of office, which is what they called term limits back then. That made him very nervous because he had the foresight to see, it's not that attractive right now, but at some point the country will grow, and so will the size of the government in D.C., and it's not going to be good for us to have people there for so long.
Right. So one thing is that the lack of term limits also takes the prestige of the office away. I believe. I think it tarnishes it, and you get that idea of, for lack of a better word, the tainted politician. Yeah. So I think that anybody who serves, whether it's me or even my opponent or anybody who goes that first time to serve, is doing a great thing for our country. So, but if you are like a hired politician, a mercenary politician, more or less, it ruins the whole thing for everybody, because now we can't feel proud, we can't trust, we can't believe. All politicians have to be dirty now because they're just up there to get their money or whatever. So I think that's done a big disservice to us.
That's a wonderful point. I don't hear that one too often. That's a great angle on that it tarnishes the value of the office, or I guess you'd say the seat in Congress. That's a great point. Right. There's something that we talk about sometimes. It sounds kind of academic, but it's a pretty simple concept, I think, called adverse preselection. That without having term limits, it defaults to a certain kind of system of how things work with elections. And it defaults to a sort of tenure-based, position where you're in there and you fundraise and you do the party's bidding and you do that for so many years, and then you get your chairmanships, and then you can start throwing your weight around, but only after you've made a lot of compromises. Right. And so what it ends up doing is creating an environment that actually encourages career politician types to want to run, whereas successful people from all walks of life, business owners, educators like ourselves, people that had just different careers and have been successful in different ways, would look at that and go, well, I could set aside my career for 10 years or something, but if I need to give up 20 years to start making a dent, I'm going to stick back home where I'm doing. What am I going to do that for? Right.
I think so. I think that what happens is that in order to have a really good and vibrant legislature, one that understands the people because they're of the people, you have to make it so that they want to run, and so that they think that there's a possibility that they have a fair shot at it. But the way things are now, when you go up against an incumbent, they have so much money in their bank, and they're splashing billboards and commercials, and you're scratching chicken feed, to get a little sign, But and that's not how I don't think that that's how they wanted it to be.
Right. That's a great point. Do you know how many dollars out of every $10 that special interest PACs give to incumbents over challengers?
Well, they didn't give any to me. So,
$9 of every 10 from special interest PACs are given to the incumbent over a challenger. And it's very obvious why, right? If they got their guy that's in office and they can just keep him there, they got their long-term investment. They don't have to keep starting over. It's cheaper, right?
Right.
And they have to start over with making their pitch and that sort of thing. Well, with term limits, it disrupts that whole thing. Now they're going to be compelled to have to make their pitch for whatever that they're lobbying for.
Right, so that the legislator's not listening to what's best for the people of her constituency. She's listening to, if she's the incumbent, she's listening to, who's going to give her the most money.
Yes.
And that's or they're going to say, we gave you this money, now you are our puppet, and that's not any good either. So it does take the legislator away from his or her constituency.
Yeah.
And so if you have term limits and you know that somebody's set, like, say 8 years and that's it, then that money that they're giving, then they know that's got an end in sight, and they're going to have to rethink to make whoever's running on whatever platform to make what they're doing right for that constituency.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's always going to be special interests. There's always going to be a tendency to corruption. But we can upend that system and make it much more difficult for them to be corrupt with term limits. So,
well,
excellent.
I can tell you that I'm not bragging. Yeah, I am. I'm the least corrupt person you'll ever meet, probably. Because I just, I'm not doing this for any kind of money whatsoever. I'm doing this for the people in front of me and the people who I care about in our environment, which we live in East Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains, in the most beautiful place in the world. And I want to make sure that our people have jobs, but our environment's protected at the same time.
Yep,
I don't
absolutely.
Wholesale just pillaging of our beauty and our natural gifts from God. So I'm that girl. I'm not like I'm not a knock down your door kind of person, but I am, I hope I do what I'm supposed to do type of girl.
Excellent.
That's why I'm doing this, because it's my duty. And that's the thing. See, with term limits, you get citizens who'll come up who you're going to do this because it's their duty to do it. We're going to have to look around for people who will do their duty. That means to leave your home, your family, for many months a year, to go to, for my case, Nashville, and do what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
I look at that as something to be proud of. I would be honored to do it, and I would consider it an honor every day. I hear politicians say, "Oh yeah, I won't take any money," so I don't know why anybody would believe any different from me. I'm not doing it for anything other than I feel it is my duty.
Sure.
An election is not an election unless two people are running. And without term limits, the incumbents are there so long that people don't run.
Yep.
They just see it as an impossibility.
Well, and like you said, they just lose touch over time. I mean, even with great intentions going in.
Yeah.
So, Delynn, we very much appreciate it. We can't get this done. Congress is not going to term limit itself. Well, Delynn, we appreciate you. We can't do this without folks like yourself standing up at the state level to push back on Congress, because they are drunken on their power, and they are like a unruly teenager that needs to be put back in the corner. So have their
Oh
keys taken
gosh.
away from them and grounded. So
I haven't put a teenager in the corner in a long time.
yeah, that's right. Well, there's several of them, and they're not exactly teenagers. We do thank you so much for all your support and for signing our pledge and spending time with us today.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.